Welcome back, Duelist. Casual Duelist here. And before we get into today's deck profile, I just want to say thanks for everybody who's been subscribing, everybody who's been liking, commenting, all of the things. You guys are amazing. Secondly, Mr. Drumsticks, look what came in, buddy. So for those of you who don't know, Mr. Drumsticks actually challenged me to make a Master of Oz deck, and finally got most of the cards in order. Waiting on like one card left. It's supposed to be here like Monday, Tuesday. So by the end of next week, you guys will see a Master of Oz built beast down as it is. And I'm so happy with how this turned out. I think this is a very fun, casual build to kick around, and it's got a lot of character to it. So, finally got some of the cards in. The rest will be in. We'll be doing this by the end of the next week. Fantastic. Secondly, my wife was looking through my speed duel stuff and noticed I was missing one skill. So she bought it. This came in today, so I think I'd like to do this in between gods. So I think we're doing Winged Dragon of Ra next and saving Slifer to last since he's more of a fan favorite. This means that this Cocoon of Ultra Evolution deck we should be sometime this next week as well. This way we can go ahead and play this. But this now means I have all of the skill cards currently available in Speed Duel. Awesome. And real quick, for those of you who haven't seen the Speed Duel Obelisk the Tormentor deck yet, got a whole video on that. Go check that out. For those of you who were there for it, you guys saw that I threw down Obelisk in a crazy way and then promised to have that out by the end of this week. So, let's do that. So the wife said, you can't play Obelisk with something cute. And I said, what do you mean? Let's play frogs. So, for those of you, this is Frog-Olisk, as I love to call it. It does have one high-end option in here, so I went ahead and sleeved a single copy, but obviously you will play it in the same amount for a more budget variant. And you guys are probably counting those cards right there. You probably see that there's only 5 white sleeves. Yeah, I only put 5 of the cards for the extra deck just to make things go quicker, because I will be playing them all as a play set this week. So without any real further ado, let's get that deck list for you. So, we're going to start off with 3 copies of Dupe Frog, 2 copies of my boy Jinzo. Now, of course, I got the original Tinzo, and then the Speed Duel Jinzo, because, 3 copies of my boy Obelisk the Tormentor, because, best god card is best. 3 copies Poison Draw Frog, because good strategy. 3 copies Rodent Totem, because we need to get that card banished. 3 copies Sea Lancer, because we want to actually abuse that strategy. And 3 copies of Swap Frog, because yes. And then 3 copies of Treeborn Frog. And Joe, if you are watching this, yeah, I kept it all these years, and I wanted to use it for the profile today, just to show you that, yeah, I remember all the times we played. And I still like tossing this one around every now and again. For those of you who don't, or maybe can't tell the difference, a long time ago, he took a highlighter to this to turn it into an ultra rare, and then went ahead and altered the art into this really cool, I think we called him Devil Treeborn because of the background. But yeah, this is the original Shadow of Infinity, custom art, as it were. And yeah, I still keep it. I do have a playset of regular Treeborn Frogs too, but I wanted to show this one off. So going over to the spells, we got 3 copies Creature Swap, because amazing. 3 copies Enemy Controller, because amazing. 1 Foolish Burial, 3 Forbidden Chalice, because amazing. The single 1-for-1, because amazing. The 3 Pot of Extravagance as my super expensive card for the deck. And of course, if you don't have the budget, I know these are still like $20, $24 a copy from the Megaton. You can, of course, substitute Duality. This will change your playstyle slightly because you're not going to be allowed to special summon during the turn. Obviously, I'd rather you play the Extravagance, but I'm not gonna say no to Duality. Single copy Raigakai, double salvage, and that's gonna round out our 40 card deck. And then moving over to the extra deck, again, we're gonna be running triples of all 5 of these cards. Totally awesome because yes, Nightmare Cerberus because good, Nightmare Phoenix because good, Nightmare Unicorn because good, and of course Salamangrate Almirage. I feel like this is kind of the little turbo tech here, but you guys got to remember, in a deck full of frogs, this will help us put one character in the discard pile, which allows us to do the Ronin Toad plays a little more successfully, yada yada. It's just really good, and we want the protection effect sometimes. So if you guys were just here for the deck list, I do hope that you guys get a chance to play this. I hope that this helps you out a little bit. Obviously, this deck could be played casually. I have played this competitively before. Not with the Pot of or the Extravagance yet. That is a bit of new combo added to this build. But if this kind of deck helps you out in any way, please consider subscribing to the channel. And of course, more importantly, to me at least, please tell your friends about it. I think everybody can get on board with Frog-Olisk. And if that's, again, all you were here for, class is dismissed. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Enjoy another video while you're here. Doesn't even have to be mine. YouTube's full of them. We'll see you guys on the next one, all right? For everybody else, let's get into the deck and what it's actually supposed to do. So the dupe frog here is a 1/2K, and it will always be treated as day frog while it is face up on the field. The opponent cannot select another target as an attack target while you face up. When it is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add a frog monster from the deck, except dupe frog or frog the jam from deck or graveyard to hand. Again, I don't think that they errated this yet to where it's anytime except the damage step, but it may be. He's actually going to be a good defense for us. We could summon him for the Almirage. There's plenty of plays here. Jinzo, just kind of a control tech. Obviously, we want to try to stop traps being on the field. This isn't going to really do us any good if our opponent is playing impermanence from hand. But it's going to be kind of weird. Most of the time, they're going to have to actually set it. So Jinzo can actually help you. So because of him, that's another reason why we didn't play any traps ourselves. And of course, Treeborn Frog. Got to get to the big boy. Got to talk our talk about him again. 3 tributes to normal summon, no sets. This card summon cannot be negated. When normal summoned cards and effects cannot be activated. Cannot be targeted by spells, traps, or card effects, which is a permanent effect, not just the turn it's summoned. Once per turn during the end phase, if it was special summoned, you send it to the graveyard. And lastly, you contribute 2 monsters to destroy all monsters the opponent controls, and then you lose your attack with this card for that turn. We chose the original art again, just because we did that with the speed deck. And again, I'm not sure which one I like better. I've always liked ultra rares. The secret rare is pretty handsome too, so. Big, bulky, big game state winner. Usually your win condition. And then like in Speed Duel, we're going to have the full 3 just to make sure that our combo is going to go off. Continuing, we have Poison Draw Frog. When this face-up card on the field is sent to the graveyard, unless it was attacked while face down in defense and destroyed as a result of battle, you get to draw a card from the deck. This is going to be part of a combination between the Ronin Toad, where we're going to banish it, and then the Sea Lancer, because it will equip banished cards to itself for 1,000 points gain. And then again, it's got like a little survival strategy, which allows us to start drawing. Or again, you could like tribute it for Jinzo, or you could link it, which will again destroy the card, allowing you to draw as many cards as you had. Poison Draw Frogs going away, which again allows you to recycle the Ronin Toad in again. So again, Ronin Toad, while it's on the field, is Day Frog. You can remove 1 frog monster from the graveyard except the jam to special summon this card from the graveyard, and it cannot be used as synchro material. That said, it can be used as overlay material and, of course, link material. So again, Rodent Toad really putting in a lot of work for us. You're going to notice that level 2 is very common in this deck, which is why we played Totally Awesome. And hopefully you get to use the effects quite a bit. I didn't see like a once per turn, so you should be able to link climb using Toad as long as you have enough material in the discard pile. But they may have errated that. It may now be once per turn. I just don't have the most current version. The Sea Lancer, you can target any number of banished fish, sea serpents, or aqua types, which is our frogs, that are banished. Again, equip them to this card. This effect can only be used once while this card is face up on the field. However, if this face up card on the field would be destroyed, you may destroy one of those cards instead. And additionally, you gain 1,000 attack while equipped with a monsters by its effect. So again, it doesn't matter if it's 1 or 5. It's only 1,000 points gained, so it'll go up to 2,300. 2,300. Yeah, he's just gonna kind of do that and dole out some draws. Again, since we can link him, since we can use the enemy controller on him, since we could send him over to our opponent's side of the field with creature swap and then break him. There are plenty of opportunities for us to draw all of the cards all at once. I do not think that this will work if he is used as part of the tribute for Obelisk, only because card effects cannot be activated in response to his summon. And that is how the timing would end up working out. So 3 of those. Again, you want to maximize that. The Swap Frog. You may special summon this from the hand by discarding one other water attribute monster. When this card is special summoned, you could send one level 2 or lower aqua from the deck or face up on the field to the graveyard. We are always going to choose deck. He is always going to be a Foolish Burial. Once per turn, you can return one monster you control to the hand and normal summon one frog in addition to your normal summon during the main phase, except normal summoning him. Or a same name, so no swap frogs. In addition to your normal summon a set, you can only gain that effect once per turn. He is really our starter for a lot of plays, and I think that's why they gave him a nice, sweet, ultra rare reprint. And then there's my boy Treeborn, and I believe that this has also been errated to once per turn. If this card is in your graveyard during the standby phase and there are no spell traps on your side of the field, you can special summon this to your side of the field from the discard pile. This may not be activated if there is a face-up Treeborn Frog on your side of the field. So yeah, Treeborn. Creature swap. Each player chooses a monster they control and switches control to the other player. Those monsters cannot change their battle positions that turn. Why is this so good? Guys, you just saw a whole bunch of weak monsters that we could just trade our opponent. If they've only got one card, if they've got Appaloosa, whatever. Here, have the Treeborn Frog. Now I'm going to smash Appaloosa into it. Okay, you take a whole bunch of damage, and I have your cool monster card. It seems like a no-brainer. And yeah, it's an old card. Like, it's been around forever. So, same with enemy controller. It's got 2 effects. We can either change the battle position of a face-up monster on the opponent's side of the field, blocking attacks or whatever, or we can offer a monster on our side of the field as a tribute to select a face-up monster on their side of the field, take control of it until the end phase of the turn. And one of the things when Treeborn Frog was not once per turn, and again, I'm assuming he was errated because I didn't bother to check before I made this video, which is a serious blunder on my part, was that you could play enemy controller from your hand because it's quick play during your standby phase. So when the Treeborn Frog would come back, you would drop the enemy controller, sack it, bring him over, and then still be able to go, well, Treeborn Frog is in my graveyard. It's now new to the graveyard. It's going to come back because I don't have a Treeborn Frog on the field. And they used to play. I'm not sure that that's still going to play. But again, it's still rather useful, and we can still take links. And Treeborn Frog would still allow us to do that once per turn anyway. So it's still good. Foolish Burial, again, we want to start throwing the Poison Draw Frog is actually our first throw. And then our second throw would be the Ronin Toad. So that's, again, we want the 3 Swap Frogs and the 1 Foolish Burial. So we have 4 cards throwing monsters out of our deck. And again, we'll be able to bounce the Swap Frog and special summon it again to summon another card. And that gives us a lot of... It's like 2 discards plus 2 sends from deck. And it really loads your discard pile real fast. So, good. Our, I don't want to say spicy tech. Everybody wants me to say spicy tech, and I don't get that. Give me a second to take a drink. Thank you. The Forbidden Chalice is kind of my crazy off-the-wall card this time. So again, quick play spell. Target a face-up monster on the field until the end of the phase, end phase. Give it 400 attack and negate its effects. It's a very good way of saying no to Apollosa, because number one, it can't activate its effects, and without its effects, it doesn't actually have power, so it's down to 400 from whatever it was. And honestly, it's just amazing how many decks really get hit by this. And, you know, I wanted to play Book of Moon, but Book of Moon in the main game doesn't do anything to link monsters. So, Book of Moon in Speed Duel, great, play it. Book of Moon in the master game, don't bother. Forbidden Chalice is actually a great combo card because, again, our main piece of the deck, Obelisk, 4K. It's very hard to get over, even if I'm giving you points. So just play the Chalice, guys. It's so good. The 1-for-1 lets us really play the... it's another card that's really going to let you get out... It really only lets you get out Treeborn. But you can discard any monster in your hand. So again, you could drop the Poison Draw or the Ronin Toad real quick and still start cycling through everything. Again, Extravagance, we played a small extra deck because, you know, it's actually 15 cards. You're just supposed to say, okay, each one of these is at 3s. Yes, I have all of them. But the purpose here is to just draw cards fast. Get more cards in your hand. More advantage equals more wins. At the start of your main phase, and again, this has to be the first card you activate during the turn. Banish 3 or 6 random face down from the extra deck. Draw per every 3 that were banished. Bingo, bango, blammo. Draw 2 cards. Again, that's why we're running everybody at 3s. Even if we don't touch them, we still would like to have the option on occasion to get in there. And again, if you do not have that in your budget, play the Pot of Duality, excavate the top 3, and then add 1 to your hand, shuffling the rest back in. No special summons during the turn that you activate this. And again, when you do that, you can actually spread your extra deck out. You'll probably still play 3 here. You'll probably still play 1s here. You'll probably still play 1 here. So that's 3, 6, 7. Play your Boral Sword, Boral Ode. That's 8, 9. I have the BLS Chaos Soldier link, so I'll play that. Play your IP Masquerena. Play your Apollosa. Play Saryuja. Play whatever you like. But for right now, because I did play the Extravagance, I'm playing 3 of each of those 5. Raigakai, because again, I don't have triple tactics. And as far as budget, this was in our... It wasn't Witchcrafters. The last Spellcaster structure deck, what was it? Yes. Yeah, it was the Spirit Charmers. Yes. Very good. Thank you. And Raigakai was a super rare in there, just given to players. So again, I used to play Dark Hole here. No need to torch my own side of the field when I could just do it to just yours. Destroy all opponent's monsters. Great card. Salvage is going to give you some extra plays back. You had 2 water monsters with an original attack of 1,500 or less from graveyard to hand. And since you're going off the written stat, this is a great way to bring back your Sea Lancer. Honestly, all of your water monsters are good targets for this, but the Sea Lancer is generally the one you're going to choose. And again, 2. 3 was just too many. The extra deck is pretty basic. Everybody knows the Nightmare Engine by now. So I'm just going to go over the 2 that I haven't gone over every video. First up, Totally Awesome, 2 level 2 Aqua types. Once per turn during the standby phase, detach material from this, special summon a frog monster from your deck, which helps us here. We're playing frogs. Secondly, once per turn, either player's turn, when your opponent activates a spell, a trap, or a monster effect, send 1 Aqua monster from your hand or face up on the field to the graveyard. negate, and if you do destroy the card, then you can set it, and then you can set it to your field. So your opponent sets, impermanence. They go to activate it. You say, bye, Treeborn. Treeborn, go take one for the team. If I can find Treeborn. There you go. Treeborn takes one for the team. He's going to come back anyway because we don't have a back row. We're going to take your infinite impermanence, and after I'm done using it, Treeborn will be back. Last effect on this guy. If this card is sent to the graveyard, target a water monster in the graveyard and add it back to your hand. I believe he can target himself and put himself back into the extra deck, which is fantastic, actually. It's another way to get back RC Lancer and Swap Frog. Probably the best applications of the effect. And then the last one, it would be the Owl Mirage. So a normal summon monster of 1,000 points or less. And again, this is everybody but like Obelisk, the Jinzo, and the Sea Lancer. If you choose to normal summon. Quick effect, you contribute this card, target a monster that you control. It can now be destroyed by opponent's card effects this turn. And when a normal monster or a normal summoned monster you control is destroyed by battle, while this is in your graveyard, you can special summon this. You may use the effect only once per turn of the special summoning. The only thing it was not going to help us with is protecting Obelisk. And it's because the card effect is a target. And again, I'm going to double check myself because I got the card. It should say that nobody can target it. So cannot be targeted by spell traps or card effects. So again, cannot be targeted, otherwise it'd be great because it would stop him from going down to things like Ragakai. But what this is really here for is you got the Poison Draw Frog in your hand. You've got the Ronin Toad in the discard pile. You can make the Owl Mirage by summoning the Poison Draw. Go straight into your other cards. Do all of the things. And get the summons out. So I keep getting asked. It's not that I keep getting asked. I was asked once nicely. And I'm going to do it. Let's try a test hand here. Hopefully this thing will shuffle appropriately. Get the duality back out of here. I wish I had some questions to answer right now, because this would be like a perfect time. I don't know what to say otherwise. We could take a vote. You guys can vote in the comments section. And I will on Tuesday tally it up. Do you guys want to see Slifer or Winged Dragon of Ra next? Keeping in mind that whichever one you choose, I will build it in Speed Duel first, because I'd like to cross out the last two of the Battle City skills. And then I will build the Masterclass version like I did with Obelisk here. So if you don't mind, vote down below. Keep it open to, like I said, Tuesday. Wednesday I will post the deck list. And again, it's up to you guys. I've already got both decks built on paper and been playtesting a little bit. So it's just going to come down to what you'd like to see first. That seems enough. And again, we're going to be getting that Master of Oz by the end of this next week as well. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to show you guys the trade binder, but I'm not going to trade out of it yet. What I'd like to do is I would like to wait until the beginning of February and then do that as a monthly basis. And I will explain all of the rules then. And then this way on tomorrow when I show you the guys that, I can also announce who the next winners are for our weekly giveaways, since that has so kindly been funded between good viewers like Mr. Drumsticks and actually one of my teammates. So, yeah, we got that going. All right, let's go ahead. Let's draw the 5. Let's see what we get. Got a poison draw. We got a Lancer. Got an Extravagance. We got a Chalice and an Extravagance. So if going first, we're going to go ahead and pop an Extravagance. If not, we would have a creature swap already in our hand. So we're just going to banish cards at random. Get to draw 2, which will give us the creature swap and the dupe. If we had gone second, we would have another Chalice, which doesn't seem to matter as much. If you went first, there's really no room to go with. I would probably just set my dupe frog and my Chalice, holding the remainder of my cards. You see, on a bad draw, my opponent's just going to have a blatant attack monster. Most of the time, they're not going to break 2K. And if they do, and Dupe Frog wasn't errated, which it doesn't look like it was, we're going to go ahead and grab the Swap Frog anyway, because we'll be able to drop the Poison Draw, special summon the Swap, and throw Totem out of the deck, which will allow us to use the Lancer after Ronin Toad jumps to the field, banishing the Poison Draw Frog, to play this and get the one single card there, which has already given us 2. And then we can actually go into a link play. We'll probably have Phoenix or Cerberus still in the deck. Play the one that you like. And that's still not counting the other Extravagance. And then, of course, you could always just play like a weak frog and just creature swap and take the one monster that they do have. I mean, there are so many options here. Let me do one more. Let's say we're going to go second this time. And again, that's not bad. One, two, 3, 4, and 5. And I like this hand actually quite a bit. There's so many plays here. Right off the rip, we can throw the Toad. We can throw the Swap Frog. We can go ahead and put one of our poison draws in there. We could do Dupe Frog with a creature swap, smash into it, get a card off the Dupe Frog effect. We could easily just summon any 2 of these real quickly, go into Totally Awesome. And again, Totally Awesome's stat is actually a buffered 2200 for those of you that weren't too well into it. Again, we're going to draw a Poison Draw Frog, which again just makes this so stupidly easy. So you're like, all right, pitch the Poison Draw, play the Totem, or sorry, play the Swap, go ahead, drop the Poison Draw, shuffle your deck. Okay, that made sense. So we're going to use Swap Frog's effect. We're going to get an extra normal summon by doing this. So we'll play the Dupe Frog. Okay. Then we'll special summon the Swap Frog. You're going to pitch your Toad. And you can pitch another Toad. And this is why this is just so crazy. Like right off the rip, even though we don't have Obelisk. And again, if we did, we could play him because we used our extra normal summon real quick. So that would still allow us to have played him had we drawn him. We're going to be able to banish both poison draws to play back both Toads. And again, I think you guys are starting to see just like how quick we can go ahead and get all this together. And then you want to play that's the dupe effect. So your opponent cannot select when it's sent from the field to the graveyard. So again, let's say your opponent has whatever. Doesn't matter. You can link 2 here. You can link 2. Pick a link 2, whichever one you want. Phoenix is a little bit stronger. You would like to link it with this. It's going to get us another. Sorry, I put those in the wrong stack. So that would get us another frog At which point you're not really gonna pick anything too crazy. Again, we can go straight for the Treeborn. Because remember, we still got that one attack. Opponent's still got one monster. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, take away their options. Again, your opponent had a card in the back row. Drop your enemy controller, doesn't matter. So their back row is gone. They get the one monster card. You're going to use your other normal summon. Play your Treeborn. Play the creature swap. Give them the Treeborn. Play your Xyz play. Sorry, I'm so bad at setting up my field. It's not even funny. I'm just trying to make sure that it's all visible here. Play your Xyz play. Go to your Totally Awesome. And remember, you got whatever their monster is. This is going to be 2,100 damage. This is already 4,000 damage. Cleared the field. And on your standby phase, you're going to get the Treeborn back. Looks like we're going to get a salvage, which could allow us to get the dupe and the Ronin Toad back. Or, again, if we had to use this effect here, we'd be able to start getting other frogs out of our deck. We'd be able to throw other cards to get the Toad back. We'd be able to link climb, link build. And again, if you're playing the generically, or not generically, but if you're playing a more budgeted version with the dualities, again, you're allowed to have more variation in your extra deck, guys, and this is going to lead you to a lot more plays. So before I wrap this up, I want to thank you guys for sitting through a half-hour video for no reason. And Joe, I'd like to thank you for making this sweet art way back in, like, what, 06, 07? Yeah, I still keep it. I'd like to thank you guys. Please vote. Whichever one gets more, Winged Dragon of Raw or Slifer, that's where we're going to go next. And I'll show you guys the trade binders tomorrow. But I will not be trading out of them this month. I will do it next month. All right, guys. See you later.